Very good morning, everyone. Good morning. Am I audible? Are you able to see me? Can you please clarify? Good morning, everyone. Are you able to hear me? Good morning, Tarun. Good morning. Good morning, Lakshmi Prasanna. Am I audible to you? Yes, I think so. Is the screen visible? Okay, Shilpa. Morning, Kartikeya. So, shall we begin our session for today? Morning, Bhavati. Good morning. So I know many of you have woken up just now, maybe for the SFM class. But for law class, it's a theory class. You have to be energetic and you have to start listening to the topics with a little more concentration because it's a theory subject. Yes or no? So shall we get started? Okay. So yesterday we have seen the basis of the number of on the basis of number of members, the classification of the companies. We have seen OPC, one member, private company, minimum two members, and maximum 200 members. Whereas for public company, minimum seven members, there is no limit on the maximum members. And then we have seen the small company. Yes. So now we will get into the discussion of the next basis. The next basis that we're going to learn is on the basis of listing in the recognized stock exchange. So yeah, before I get into the session, I want to address one issue. So students are worried a little that YouTube classes are missing and they're being deleted from the YouTube channel, law class and SFM class. So those have already purchased for this courses. You don't need to worry about that. These classes will be uploaded in the Class Plus app, and from tomorrow the classes will be conducted in the Class Plus app for SFM, law and DT. But for SCM, the next four sessions will be on the YouTube itself. So even if 1 to 2 classes are missing in the YouTube, you don't need to worry. Those classes will be updated in your Class Plus course. So you can view that. The views will be for around 1.5 views. That means those are based on duration, not the number of views. Okay. So even if you're unable to see any view videos on the YouTube, you don't need to worry about that. Okay. So those will be updated in your Class Plus course. Am I clear? Parvati, Karthik, Shilpa, Lakshmi Prasanna, everyone. Do you have any more issues regarding the classes that I need to address? Okay, done. Morning, Shravan, morning. So, let's start our discussion with the classification of the company. Okay. So the first classification that we are going to learn in this session, we weren't added to any batch in app. Yeah, you will be added by today evening. You will be added to the course and you will be able to view the classes at the same time, the soft copy of the material also. So you don't need to worry about that, Parvati. We will contact all the people who have filled the Google form and we will add them to the particular course relevant to what subject you purchased. Okay? By this evening or tomorrow morning, you will be added. You don't need to worry about that. You will be able to attend the classes from tomorrow. Okay? So, let's begin our session. So, now we are going to learn about the classification of companies. The classification of companies based on the listing, based on the listing in the recognized stock exchange. On this basis, we have around two types of company that we all know, that because we have learned it in your CMA intermediate, that is the listed company and unlisted company. Okay, we all know the meaning, but let's learn what's given in our textbook. So, listed company meaning, very simple, under section 2, clause 52, a listed company. A listed company means a company. Wow, means a company. Wow, we know that. Okay, means a company which has any of its securities listed on any recognized stock exchanges. What do you mean by securities, madam? Any kind of securities like scripts, stocks, debentures, derivatives, whatever the security related to the company can be listed in a recognized stock exchange. Examples of recognized stock exchange, the famous examples are the National Stock Exchange and the Bombay Stock Exchange. Yes or no? So very simple, as per section 2, clause 52 of the Companies Act. A listed company means a company which has any of its securities listed in any recognized stock exchange, whereas the word securities is not defined in Companies Act, whereas it is defining that it is the same definition which is in the clause H of the section 2 of the Securities Contract Regulation Act. It is nothing but it's laying down the various types of securities, stocks, scripts, debentures, futures, everything. Okay? Are we clear about this definition? Listed company, though that company which lists its securities in a recognized stock exchange. What about the unlisted company? Unlisted company means a company other than listed company which will not list its particular securities in a recognized stock exchange. That's all. You don't need to go deep inside it. Listed company, securities are listed in a recognized stock exchange. Whereas unlisted company, it is not a listed company. Very simple. Okay. So let's get into the next category. Now we have entered into the category of other companies. There is no basis now. Other companies, other type of companies. Let's see each and everything in detail. Okay. Is my voice clear or is there any disturbance in the voice? Please let me know if my voice is a little low or not. And please remove side sliding list. It helps to view properly. Yeah, sure, my dear. Yeah, sure, my dear. I also zoomed in this screen because now I'm writing. Voice is a bit low, madam. Okay. Happens. होता रहता है थोड़ा सा technical issues. You don't need to worry. You tell me. I will adjust. I will try to adjust. So yeah, is my voice clear now? because I'm shouting. I have to. Okay, let's get into the next type of company. In the other types of companies, the first one that we're going to learn about is the government company. What is it? It is a government company. Government company is a company in which the government is holding more than 51% of its shareholding. See, as per section number 2, not subsection, very sorry, clause 45, government company means a company. Don't write no, don't write shortcuts in your exam. I'm just writing it for the purpose of, I mean, it'll become faster for me. Means a company in which that means more than 51% of the paid up share capital. Don't follow this shortcut in your examinations, okay? Paid up share capital is held by one, maybe central government or state government or state governments, or central government plus state government together, then it is called a government company. Even subsidiary company of a government company will also be coming under the category of government company. That is the meaning of the government company that you will see. Example is Coal India Limited. Coal India Limited. Coal India Limited has many private company subsidiaries, but these subsidiaries will also be considered as a government company because it is a subsidiary of a Coal India Limited. Coal India Limited is a government company. This is just an example. Okay. Are we clear about government company? More than 51% of the paid up share capital is held by central government, state government, or state governments, or central government plus state government, whatever the proportion it is, but it should be held by any form of government. Am I clear? Okay, I think so. Now, let's see the next type, foreign company. Foreign company. Two main things that you have to remember to understand the meaning of foreign company. Number one, the company is incorporated, like how the Indian companies are registered under the Companies Act 2013 in India. Likewise, these companies are registered under their particular act in their country. Incorporated outside India. Incorporated outside India, but has a place of business. It has a particular place. It will conduct its business activities. It is conducting its business activities in India, be it in online form or offline form. Offline form means it has a place of business in India. Online form means it conducting its business activities in India. Then you will be calling that particular company as a foreign company. Foreign company definition has been laid down in section 2, clause 42 of the Companies Act 2013. Yes, having a place of business outside India. Yeah, in India. Okay. Yes, Shravan, you're right. So am I clear about this? Foreign company means any company or body corporate incorporated outside India, which has a place of business in India, and or it carries out its business activities in India. Okay. Yes. So what is the definition? See, the definition given. So I just told you the meaning in my particular chart. So now see, according to section 2, clause 45 of the Companies Act 2013, a government company means any company in which not less than 51% of the paid up share capital is held by central government or by any state government or governments, or partly by central government and partly by one or more state governments, and includes a company which is a subsidiary company of such government company. Now, what about foreign company definition, madam? According to Section 2, Clause 42 of the Companies Act 2013, foreign company means any company or body corporate. Why is it called a body corporate? Because it's registered outside India. Yes, having a place of business in India, whether by itself or through an agent, even if agent is operating the business in India, that even then that company will become a foreign company. Physically or through electronic mode, conducts any business activities in India in any other manner. Am I clear? Yes. Now let's see the next type of company. The next type of that company that we're gonna see is holding and subsidiary company. Holding and subsidiary company. Both the definitions are pretty confusing. Holding company definition, we will find the word subsidiary, whereas subsidiary company definition, we'll find the word holding. So very easy. If A Limited is having part of at least 51, more than 51% of shareholding in B Limited, in this case A will become holding, B will become subsidiary. Simple, very simple. But what are the definitions that have been laid out in the act? We will see. Okay. So for holding company, I'll write both the definitions in the same page so that it will be clear for us to compare these two definitions. Holding company, subsidiary company. Holding company, section 2, clause 46. Subsidiary company, section 2, clause 87. Okay. Now, the definition here is in relation to one or more other companies, that means in relation to one or more other companies, that means the subsidiary company, in relation to the subsidiary companies, means a company or a body corporate of which such companies are subsidiary companies. What is this confusing definition, madam? See, in relation to one or more companies, related to these subsidiary companies, this particular holding company will be a subsidiary. Okay. See, means the body corporate which such companies are subsidiaries for. For this particular company, that related companies will become a subsidiary companies. That is the whole meaning of this particular definition. Okay. In relation to one or more companies. What are these one or more companies? Subsidiary companies. In relation to this one or more companies, for this particular holding company, these companies will become subsidiaries. That is the meaning of this definition. Okay. So when it comes to subsidiary company definition, in relation to, here also, in relation to any other body corporate, means a body corporate in which the holding company, in which it's a holding company, in related to more than 50% of majority control and management in the form of directors. Yes, of course. Okay. In relation to any other body corporate means a body corporate in which the holding company, number one, controls the composition of board of directors. What do you mean by composition of board of directors? Whom should we appoint as the board of directors? Whom should we appoint as independent directors? Whom should be appointed as managing director? This all will be controlled by the holding company in a subsidiary company. And the second condition that it needs to satisfy is it should hold more than 1/2 of the paid up share capital. More than 1/2, that means more than 50% of the paid up share capital should be held by the holding company in the subsidiary company. Even if you don't understand the definitions of these two particular type of companies, the one thing that you have to be clear is holding company should be able to compose the board of directors of the subsidiary company and should hold more than 50%. That is 1/2 of the paid up share capital of the particular subsidiary company. These 2 points. What is it? Controls the composition of the board of directors and then holds 1/2 of the paid up share capital. What? Holding with the subsidiary company. Yes? So, just a moment. Now we will read what's mentioned here. Holding and subsidiary companies. My pen is not working. Just give me a moment, my dear. The full screen is not visible. Yeah. Yes, that's a good question, Shravan. Up to how many layers subsidiary companies are possible, that we will see. I'm reading the definition here for you. Holding and subsidiary companies are relative terms. A company is a holding of another if the other is the subsidiary. One company becomes holding if it has subsidiaries. Okay, we know. Fine. According to Section 2, Clause 46 of the Companies Act, holding company in relation to one or more other companies means a body corporate of which such companies are subsidiary companies. Likewise, the same kind of definition, but one thing that you have to remember is holding company controls the composition of the board of directors and exercises or controls more than 1/2 of the total voting power either as its own or together with one or more. Voting power is based on the paid up share capital. Yes or no? So likewise, it should hold more than 1/2 of the voting power. So, and the last thing that I have to tell about this category is, provided that such class or classes of holding companies as may be prescribed shall not have layers of subsidiary company beyond such numbers. What do you mean by layers of subsidiary company? Okay, I'll tell you. See, I will use your names, few people, don't get offended. Okay, for example, there is a company, Parvati Limited. Parvati Limited. It is incorporated in India. It is incorporated in India under the Companies Act 2013. Okay. And now this company has a subsidiary company which holds around 90% of the paid up share capital. If 90% means, that's nothing but it's more than 50%, right? So that is why it is a subsidiary company, and this is a subsidiary company, but this is a body corporate. That means it is not registered in India. It is a body corporate. What is this body corporate's name? Let's see. Today Shakir is not. I think the Shakir is not there in the class. That's fine. We will use his name. Shakir Limited. It is incorporated in Dubai. Okay, fine. But this particular Shakir Limited is also having a subsidiary company. Okay, uh, we will write it as Prasanna Limited. This is incorporated in India again. This is incorporated in India. Okay, and this particular Shakir Limited is holding around 80% of the paid up share capital in Prasanna Limited. That's fine. Now, another case. Now, Prasanna is holding in Shilpa Limited. This is also incorporated in India. Okay, let's see. This is not incorporated in India. It's incorporated in US, the United States. Okay, so this is also a body corporate. Body corporate. Okay, and it is holding around 75% of the paid up share capital. Now let's see. Parvati Limited subsidiary company is Shakir Limited. One layer. Fine. Shakir's Limited, Shakir's Limited subsidiaries, Prasanna Limited. Another layer. Two layers. And then Prasanna Limited subsidiary company is Shilpa Limited. Three layers are there. So what is the prescribed limit of number of layers of the subsidiary company as prescribed in the company rules? Only two layers, up to two layers of the subsidiary investment in the investment in the form of subsidiary companies, that is more than 50%, is only permitted. That means you can have Shakir Limited as your subsidiary company and Prasanna Limited as your subsidiary company. But whereas, can you have Shilpa Limited as your subsidiary company? Is it permitted under the law? No, because it becomes a third layer of subsidiary. Only up to two layers of subsidiary it is possible. Understood? Am I clear, Shravan? Prasanna, you didn't get it? That's fine. I'll explain you again. See, in the same example, there is Parvati Limited. Yes, this is the holding company of Shakir Limited. That means Shakir Limited is the subsidiary of this particular company. Now it will become one layer of subsidiary. Layer number one between these two companies. And the same thing, what's happening is the Shakir Limited subsidiary company is a Prasanna Limited. So now the Prasanna Limited for Parvati Limited will become a sub-subsidiary company. That means the second layer of subsidiary company. Just imagine if Parvati Limited is holding around 90% of the paid up share capital of Shakir Limited, but Shakir Limited is holding 80%. Now what is the proportionate percentage? Out of this 80 percentage, out of this 80 percentage, I'm unable to write it with my pen. Don't get confused. Out of this 80 percentage paid up share capital, 90% is belonging to Parvati Limited. That means for Parvati Limited, Prasanna Limited is also a sub-subsidiary. That means the second layer of subsidiary. But as per the Companies Act 2013, what are the number of layers you can go up to for subsidiary companies? Only two layers. So if Prasanna Limited is investing around 75%, buying around 75% of shares in Shilpa Limited, that will become a third layer of subsidiary. That will become a third layer of subsidiary which is not permitted under the law. Okay, am I clear, Prasanna? Layers nothing but subsidiary, sub-subsidiary, sub-sub-subsidiary. It's not allowed. Only up to two subsidiaries you can have. Fine. Two different subsidiaries are different. Layers of subsidiaries are different. Okay. Am I clear, Prasanna? Okay, thank you, my dear. Sorry for using your names if you get offended. Okay. Fine. Shall we get into the discussion of the next type of company? Yes. So the next type of company that we will be seeing is an associate company. Oh my God. What happened to my pen suddenly? Just give me a moment. So in today's session, we will be dealing more around five definitions, and after dealing with five definitions, I will close the session. And the next session, we will start an important, very important and heavy weightage chapter, that is Board of Directors and Key Management Person. You might be wondering, there are some topics left out in chapter number 1, but to be honest, chapter number 1, incorporation process, the definitions, everything is a very dry subject. You will not be interested in this subject. So if you should feel interested with the subject, and if you should start friendship with the subject, you have to start with an interesting topic. So that interesting topic is board of directors. So we will start the important topic. The board of directors has around 20 to 30 marks weightage in your previous question paper. So it's a really important chapter. So you should not miss classes from tomorrow's session. But the classes will be taken in the Class Plus app. We will share you the link for that particular course created, and then you can view. Timetable also will be shared in the WhatsApp group. You don't need to worry about that. Okay. So from tomorrow, after this definitions part, we will start the interesting topic and important topic. What is it? Board of Directors. Okay, everyone? Just give me a moment. Okay. So now let's understand the next type of company, that is the associate company. What is it? Associate company. So, as per Section 2, Clause 6 of the Companies Act 2013, associate company simply means a company which is having a paid up share capital, or, not paid up share capital. The definition that says is it has a significant influence in some other company. The significant influence is nothing but you are having a paid up share capital or voting power more than 20%. So that is the situation of an associate company. So please see the definition on the screen. According to Section 2, Clause 6 of the Companies Act 2013, associate company in relation to another company means a company in which the other company has a significant influence. What do you mean by significant influence? Significant influence means control or voting power or paid up share capital of at least 20%. At least 20% means it can be 20% or more than 20% of the total share capital of business decisions under an agreement. Okay. It should influence the business decisions up to 20% of the voting power. That is the associate company. One thing that you have to remember is significant influence. Having a significant influence in other company is nothing but they to hold the relationship of an associate company. If the holding percentage is more than 50%, the relationship will become holding and subsidiary. If it is less than 50% and more than 20%, it will be a associate company. Thank you, Bharat. Okay. Yes. Fine. So in the same case, if In the same case, if Parvati Limited Parvati Limited is holding around more than 20% of the paid up share capital in, I wrote some name. What is it? Okay, fine. Shilpa. Shilpa Limited. Now what happens? Shilpa Limited and Parvati Limited both will become associate companies. Yes, associate companies, because it's more than 20%. That means it's having a significant influence. That means a little amount of influence. Okay. Am I clear with the definition of associate company? Everyone? Okay. So next definition that we're going to discuss is joint venture company. What do you mean by joint venture? Many people are having a lot of doubt. Oh my god, joint venture. They're a little intimidated with this particular word. So we will see. Simply this definition I will be stating. This one you have to remember in your mind whenever you will think of joint venture, this thing. Yes. So joint venture. So, if two companies or two individuals come together and they want to perform a particular project or perform a particular activity, then they will try to get their resources together and they will jointly hold the assets, liabilities, cash, transactions. They will jointly deal with the transactions and they will try to complete that particular project. Okay, here there is no need to establish a company, but there is possibility of establishing a company. You're just coming jointly, getting your resources, and you're doing a project. That may be construction of a building, or that may be, formulating a new car, or whatever it is. Okay. So I will write down the definition here for you. Joint venture is a business arrangement. It is an arrangement between in which two or more. Of course, there should be two if there is an agreement. Yes or no? One person can't have agreement with himself in front of mirror. Okay. So two or more parties agree to pool their resources. What kind of resources it is? Some particular person may have a good capital. Okay, that means he is having a lot of money, and the other company is having a lot of expertise, lot of technology. If they pool together, they can bring out a good product in the market. Okay, so pool their resources for pool their resources the purpose for the purpose of accomplishing a specific task. That task may be anything, that specific task or a project or whatever you want to call it. So example is Ford company and Toyota. Ford company and Toyota had came into a joint arrangement, like a joint venture, to create hybrid trucks. This is a practical example, to create hybrid trucks. Now what happened is Toyota is having good technology to build this hybrid trucks, whereas Ford company is having a good market reputation in US market, in US. So what is happening? They too are pooling up their resources and giving the best in form of a joint venture by creating hybrid trucks. This is a classic example of joint venture. Okay, so joint venture is a business arrangement, agreement between two or more people agree to pool their resources. Resources may be money, capital, expertise, technology, labor, whatever it is, for the purpose of accomplishing a specific task. Am I clear? Yes, I think so. So what is the definition laid down in your book is, see, the term joint venture has also been defined to mean joint arrangement where the parties who have joint control of the arrangements have rights to the net asset. Net assets means the assets, liabilities, transactions, cash, bank accounts, everything. They will be having joint access. Yes, joint venture and partnership is similar, ma'am. Partnership is being established to run business forever, but joint venture is for a particular project or for accomplishing particular task. But whereas partnership, it's like a normal company business. You will start manufacturing your product, sell, and the company will go on forever. I mean, the particular business activity. That's the difference between partnership and joint venture. Joint venture, they will only pool together for just a particular project or a task. That is why it's called joint venture, just a particular venture. Okay, so it is formed on the basis of joint venture agreement between two or more companies and registered as a company with the joint venture partners share the responsibilities and involvement. The involvement in the task and the responsibilities will be shared by the two joint venture parties. Okay, there may be an arrangement of the venturing business jointly without forming a company. Even if you want to form a company in the joint sector, you can. Or the example that you have seen, Ford and Toyota, they didn't form any company, they just established a joint venture. So even without forming a company, you can go for joint venture and accomplish your particular project or task. So this type of not forming a company joint venture is called non-corporate joint venture or contractual joint venture. It's just like a contract basis. So if you are forming a joint venture without forming a company, that joint venture is called as non-corporate joint venture or contractual joint venture. Am I clear? This may be asked in your MCQ. Okay. Shravan, Parvati, Shilpa, am I clear about this? So if you are establishing joint venture business without forming a company, it is called a non-corporate joint venture or contractual joint venture. If you are coming up with joint venture with a company, that is called a joint venture company, simply. Okay. So shall we get into the next definitions? Okay, sure. Fine. Next thing that we will be discussing is dormant company. Dormant company. I think all of you know this dormant company. Dormant company means it is not having any operations. It is not having any operations. The company is registered under the Companies Act only. The company is registered under the Companies Act 2013 or the 1956 Act, but it is not having any operations. It is not conducting any business activities. The sole purpose, the purpose of the purpose of this dormant company is simply for some future project it is establishing now only. It's having so much future perspective, yes. So for some future project or future activity, it is establishing this company now only, but it's not conducting any operations now. That is why it's called dormant company. And the next thing is, it is not having any significant transactions, not having any significant accounting transactions. What do you mean by significant accounting transactions? Those accounting transactions that will be recorded in the books of accounts. That kind of transaction should also be not operated in this particular dormant company. So dormant company simply, it is not having any operations, not conducting any operations, not conducting any business activities, but you have to get registered as a dormant company, and you are just simply for holding assets. We have seen in the first session that company is a separate legal entity. It will own a property separately on its own name. So just for holding a property or an equipment, you are creating this particular company. No payment to ROC. Payment fees like registration fees, those all are not that doesn't come under significant accounting transaction. That is a compliance agreement. So that even if you have the transaction, that doesn't mean you're having significant accounting transactions. Okay, am I clear, Shravan? Okay, So let's read the definition that's laid down here. Dormant company, where a company is formed and registered under this act for a future project or to hold an asset, for holding an asset or intellectual property, the intangible assets that we call, has no significant accounting transactions. Such a company or an inactive company may make an application to the registrar in such manner as may be prescribed. Even if from the starting, for example, A Limited is operating in a business activity, for example, a manufacturing. It is a manufacturing company. It has been operating since 4 years now. The operations that it's handling have become obsolete. That means they have gone out of the current technology. Now they want to close the operations of the company and they want the status of a dormant company. So this company will become an inactive company, and if they comply with the procedure which is prescribed by the Companies Act, they can be converted from inactive company to a dormant company. Am I clear? Dormant company is not conducting any business activities from the incorporation, but inactive company means from the incorporation it used to conduct few business activities for few years, but then it stopped conducting the business activities due to any reason and it became suddenly inactive. So that inactive company can also be converted into a dormant company. So got the difference between inactive company and dormant company? Dormant company, from the incorporation itself, it is not conducting any activities and not having any significant accounting transactions. Whereas for an inactive company, for incorporation, it has been incorporated as a normal company. But due to few reasons, it has to combat its operation. It's not conducting any operations. It became inactive. So that inactive company also can be converted into a dormant company. Okay. Am I clear about this? Everyone, please reply. Everyone, are you there or you're sleeping? Good morning. Please reply. Am I clear? Shravan, Parvati, Shilpa. Okay, fine. Thank you. So shall we get into the discussion of the next companies? Okay, Prasanna. Yes, the next category of the companies is Nidhi companies. Nidhi. Nidhi in Telugu means treasure. Yes, there's no relevance. So just come back to the definition. Company which has been incorporated as Nidhi with the objective of cultivating the habit of savings or thrift. Thrift nothing but cost cutting. There are thrift stores where the products or electronics are available in a very lower price. So it is for cultivating the habit of savings and cost cutting. What will happen is it's similar to chit funds. So they will establish a particular company and these company will have members. From this members, it will collect money. It will collect money. That means it will borrow some few funds, and from that borrowed funds, it will lend the money to that particular lucky drawer. Yes, that is only how chits fund, the chit funds. So Nidhi companies are similar to chit fund companies who cultivating the habit of thrift and savings. Why? Because these members are putting some of the money to give them to that particular society or corporation. Yes or no? That is the habit of saving. Its members receiving deposits from the members and lending to its members only for mutual benefits. That members are only giving money to the company, and the company in return is giving money to the members itself, but selective members. Not every member will get a chance to receive that particular money, but on a timely basis. Okay, so for their mutual benefits, which complies with such rules as prescribed by the central government for regulation of such companies act. Section 406 of the Companies Act is stating this regulations for Nidhi company, how Nidhi company should operate. Okay, you don't need to go deep into the discussion of how Nidhi company should operate, what are the members, how the funds are received. No, because they are not going to ask you in the question papers in your examinations. Okay, clear? One definition that you have to remember here is it is cultivating the habit of thrift and saving. Thrift means cost cutting. Okay, and receiving deposits from the members and lending the same money to its members. That's all. Okay. So the last two categories of companies that we're going to discuss and the session will be ended. Okay. Everyone? So the next category is non-profit companies, non-profit organizations, non-profit organizations. These are called, the nickname is Section 8 companies. Section 8 companies. So what is the sole objective of this particular company? They have been established to promote commerce, art, religion, culture, and for the purpose of charity. For these objectives, if the company is being established, it will come under Section 8 company, that is non-profit oriented. The motive of this particular company is not profit making, is not profit making. The sole motive is for promotion of commerce, arts, religions, cultures, charities, your schools, your temples, foundations, universities, everything comes under this Section 8 company. Okay, and from it will receive money from the members in the form of donations or subscriptions. In the form of donations or subscription, it will be receiving the money. Which will be receiving? The Section 8 companies, donations and subscriptions. And if these are members, they have to get dividend, no? Will these members get dividend? No, because it's not a profit oriented organization and these members are not investing for some income. They are just investing to promote these social objectives. So the dividend is not to be declared for the members of Section 8 company. So you should not declare dividend to the members of Section 8 companies. Am I clear for it? Yes? Yes, that's just the meaning of the non-profit organizations. We'll read the definition here. I'll get back to your doubt soon. Wait a minute. Okay. So non-profit organization, Section 8 company, it is a company establishment for promotion of commerce, art, science, sports, education, research, social welfare, religion, charity, protection of environment, and any such other objectives, social objectives, provided the profits, if any, or other income is applied for promoting. If you get any profit, if you get any income, that same income or profit should be reinvested in your company to promote these objectives only. Okay, and of the company, and no dividend is paid to its members. For Section 8 companies are registered under the Companies Act 2013. If a company is registered as a Section 8 company in under the Companies Act 2013, the members will not receive any dividend. If it gets any profit or income, that income should be utilized to promote the objectives, the sole purpose of why it is formed. Okay, what is the sole purpose? For promotion of commerce, art, science, sports, education, religion, culture, etc. Okay, and the last sector of companies that we are going to learn is sectoral companies. What is it? Sectoral companies. So these kind of companies, there is two regulatory, for every company which is a sectoral company, there are two regulatory bodies. One regulatory body is Companies Act 2013 because they are registered under the Companies Act 2013. And the next is the Special Act. Special Act for that special category, for that special sector. Example is for banks. Banks, they are registered as a banking company under the Companies Act 2013. At the same time, the Banking Regulation Act will also be regulating the activities of the banks. Likewise, it should follow the RBI directives also. So if a particular company is registered under the Companies Act 2013 and it is also coming under some special act, then it is called a sectoral company. Electricity companies as well. Electricity companies also, they are registered under the Companies Act 2013, and the Companies Act 2013 will also regulate this particular companies, and also Electricity Act also will regulate. Electricity Act also will regulate these particular companies. So such kind of companies are called sectoral companies. Two regulatory bodies. One is the Special Act for which the sector will be belonging to, and one is the Companies Act 2013. Why Companies Act 2013? Because they are registered under the Companies Act 2013 with the ROC. Okay, so am I clear about the sectoral companies? So let's read out the definition here. So sectoral companies, companies registered under the Companies Act but specializing in particular sector which is regulated by a registry authority of the government. This particular line is enough for you. So sectoral companies are companies registered under the Companies Act but specializing in particular sector like electricity sector or banking sector or insurance sector or telecom sector, like that. Okay, regulated by the registry authority of the government. These are companies which are required to follow the Companies Act 2013, as because they are registered as the companies and have to follow the sectoral legislation. Okay, so example is the banking company. It should follow the Banking Regulation Act, and also it should be following the RBI guidelines. Am I clear about the sectoral companies, everyone? Shilpa, Prasanna, Parvati, Shravan, everyone. Am I clear about the sectoral companies? Did you understand the concept of non-profit Section 8 companies? Yes? Okay. Okay. So for today's session or the definition session, if you have any doubts, please post me. I will just clarify your doubts and we will end the session. The number of days about the trustee and the legal representative we will learn in the upcoming chapters, my dear. You don't need to worry about that. You will be getting clarity after we finish the Companies Act 2013. Okay? Okay, Shravan? After you finish the Companies Act 2013 in different categories of chapters which are mentioned in the Companies Act 2013, then you will have clarity regarding all the doubts. Okay? If you get these kind of doubts, you can't sleep properly because we are still in chapter number 1. Okay. Fine, everyone. Any doubts related to this particular chapter, the definitions, the corporate veil lifting, and what are the concepts that you deal? Nature of business organizations. Yes? Okay. So from tomorrow, we will meet up in the Class Plus app and we will start an interesting and most important chapter, which is the Board of Directors and the key managerial person. It's okay, Shravan. Fine. Okay, done. So can we close the session for today, everyone? This is breakfast time. I know I'm disturbing you. But now, after this class, go have your delicious breakfast, whatever it is. Okay, from tomorrow, I'm not gonna come YouTube live. So if you want to attend my classes, you have to purchase the classes. For the Saahas batch, the numbers are given in the description down below. And already, students who have already purchased, you will be added to the particular course in the BCCA app. Our team will contact you and add to that particular batch. You don't need to worry about that. So tomorrow, the timings and everything will be informed in the WhatsApp group. Stay updated in the WhatsApp group. So the classes that we are might be like the YouTube videos for SFM and the law are missing. Those videos also will be uploaded in the Class Plus app. So once you will be added to the batch, you can revise the topics from first. Okay, from the first video only you can revise. Okay, done. So thank you everyone. If you have any more doubts, you can just pin me in the WhatsApp. Thank you, Shravan. I'm ending the session. Thank you so much. Have your breakfast. Bye.